Hi, I'm CNN's Harry Enton, and I like stats. But what I love are statistics that tell us about who we are and the world we live in. So if you're curious about why ghost belief has quadrupled in the last 4 decades, or why cremation is now the way a majority of Americans enter the afterlife, or even why we stick with daylight saving time despite 70% of Americans wanting a different way, check out Margins of Error. Find it on Spotify.
Empire. The NFT tsunami is coming.
That really hit me, and I was like, the world is everything's going to be digital. All the 50 to 75% of the fandom is going to be digital, and we need digital products that can move, that don't just live inside a closed ecosystem, don't just live inside a Y2K game that can be shut down at any time.
That's Grant Dexter, co-founder and CEO of Fanaply, a company helping those in sports and entertainment grow fandom in the digital world. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein. The sports collectible marketplace underwent seismic shifts in 2021. Longtime card maker Topps was bought by fanatics. NFTs soared in price, in some cases as works of art, and in others, a crash course in first adoption in sports collections. 2022 doesn't seem to be a space where this market levels out, just a year where those in the know carve out opportunity. Our guest this week is Grant Dexter. He's the co-founder and the CEO of Fanaply, which is a company that is a turnkey NFT provider that's working with a number of different outlets in entertainment and sports. Hey, Grant, how are you?
I'm doing real well. How are you doing?
Doing good. Tell me about Fanaply. You guys are, it's kind of hard to sum up what you're doing. You're working with so many different partners in this space. Why don't you kind of give us the background of the company and where you are right now?
Yeah, we've been at this since 2018. One of my co-founders, Mike Rosenthal, met me at a South by Southwest a couple of years ago and brought up the idea of this new digital asset class, NFTs. And I had been an entrepreneur and working previously in e-commerce and ticketing. In sports and music and entertainment space. And I also have 3 boys under the age of 16 and see how they interact with digital goods every day. And I was like, wow, this is seismic and could be incredible. We really are, NFTs in a scalable NFTs in a box. So we've built out our system to enable our partners to sell NFTs inside of their ecosystem, inside of their apps and websites. We really view ourselves as sort of the pick and shovels of the NFT world. We do have a site called Fanaply.com that's done really well, and that's a really great place for us to showcase some of our technologies. And we've done rollouts with everyone from Coachella, which was integrated right into their app, to the New Jersey Devils, to the Colorado Avalanche, the Professional Fight League, to artists from Olivia Rodrigo, all the way down to baby bands. So, yeah, we're really, I would say, a technology company and a services company.
Yeah.
And we're built. We really see the future as digitizing fandom. The way brands and bands and teams are interacting with their fans is online. And there are no real tangible digital goods for them in that space. And we're building tools to help digitize that fandom for them, now and 5 and 10 years down the road. We're just super excited. And again, I think we think that should happen inside of their ecosystems. We think fans should be able to earn NFTs for going to 10 games in a row, inside of a team's app, not have to be shoveled off to a third-party site and learn to buy crypto and do the exchanges and sit on it and think it's think of it only as an asset that you sell. We really view NFTs in a lot of different ways than other companies, I think.
Let me stay on that topic just for a moment then, because the inducements for fans who buy tickets to games have always been tangible products, whether it's some piece of memorabilia or case of a hockey team, a stick, or the Baltimore Orioles here locally have a very famous day where you get a bucket hat if you show up to specific games. You're saying that the team should embrace the idea of rewarding them digitally, that's and our team, and I agree with you. Are teams embracing that back when you bring that up to them?
Yeah, they are. It's a great way to frame it and question it. And you've encapsulated, one of our value propositions, which are fans are doing things every day. Sometimes they're being rewarded. Sometimes they're not. And NFTs or digital products can be a tool to reward them. Analogous to some of the physical giveaways you see now. Instead of having a bauble night, you could have an NFT night. And if you collected all 6 of them over a season, you could get access to a really rare NFT that proved you were a super fan and were there, 6 games in a row or 6 games on certain nights. Yeah, we really feel like the mementos, the keepsakes, and all of the things that you love and collect throughout your life, they're all under probably $100, and they're all like scattered around your house, and they have these amazing memories for you. And yeah, we think teams should digitize those. Some teams, like we had over 60,000 participants. We issued over 40,000 NFTs inside of their festival. We just did it, last week. We did something with 5 Seconds of Summer, a band, where they issued over 4,000 NFTs in less than an hour as a thank you for everyone who came to their global 10th anniversary tour. We did something a couple of months ago with Trevor Noah, a comedian, where if you bought a ticket during a pre-sale period, you could earn an NFT, and that was shocking to me. Over 4,000 fans, claimed and got their NFT. So I think there's an appetite for this stuff, and then that's the sort of earned and free. And then, of course, we also sell NFTs. So we do drops with teams around anniversaries, around milestones, around plays that happen, around, we did something with the PFL around Clarissa Shields' first ever knockout win. We had that up for sale, within a couple hours. And so I think they can be monetized as like mementos, keepsakes, and collectibles. And then on the other side of that, I think they can be like proof of fandom and being able to show off to everybody online things that you're passionate about and things that you've done and things that you care about.
Let me ask you about, since you're working with entertainment and you're working with sports, in the case of something like Coachella, where you're going to have a lot of very famous artists all converging in one place. It's a once a year type of thing. There's obviously speciality that is immediate and scarcity that is to it. Each event is going to be different. When you're trying to work with a sports team outside of big playoff games or big moments, how do they kind of view NFTs in turning just the run-of-the-mill everyday game into a special event for them?
Yeah, it's a really great question. I think that's why, traditionally a lot of teams have had theme nights or giveaway nights or rivalry nights. And so there's, one of the things we try to do is we try to draft off of existing systems or existing programs and digitize them and say, what your fans would probably much more, for sure, a demographic of your fans would much prefer a limited edition digital good around this because they're just going to lose the physical item. So I think that we can draft off of existing programs. I think the beauty of technology that we've seen over time is that I think we can expand the offering because it makes it so easy. So, every home game, you could have a code or an image that flashed during a broadcast. The fans could scan that, and anyone watching the game could earn an NFT. And you could have a streak for watching 10 games in a row or 20 games in a row or trying to get to watch, the whole season. And I think that technology offers you really easy ways of, the first 100 people in the arena one night, or the last to leave? Who's the last to leave one night? All of these really cool things that are really inexpensive and simple to implement because you don't need a physical product and a sponsor can come on really easily, or you can run it yourself because it's part of your sales program. The interesting thing, which is a bit of a mind bend for some people, is that, in that example with 5 Seconds of Summer, where they gave out over 4,500 NFTs in an hour and a half, fans were then selling them on the secondary market for $20, $50, $75. And even though 5 Seconds of Summer just are such an amazing group and band, and they're so kind to their fans, they make, every time a fan sells that, they make some money on the secondary market. So even when teams are giving away NFTs, all they're doing is creating future saleable assets, because some fans might look back and be like, you know what, I want to complete my 10-game streak here, and I had to miss that game because my kid was sick, and so I'm going to buy that on the secondary market for $5. After 10 years, if you have 5 or 10 million NFTs out there, you can imagine 10% of them trading. You're looking at some incredible scalable numbers there, and that's the beauty of these. Whether you're allowing fans to earn them, giving them away, or selling them, they can have secondary market value and perpetual value over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
So you started this just a few years ago that you had gotten into it. And so I wonder where you are in just the few years. The notoriety obviously has exploded. The demand has clearly exploded. Are you surprised in the short period of time what has happened in the NFT marketplace, or did you see this from the get-go and maybe some of the world hadn't really noticed it yet?
Yeah, I think, oh boy, you sound goofy if you say you saw things before they happen, but I did believe, like, in my kids, I saw them move from wanting physical items over the holidays and for their birthdays to only wanting digital goods. They wanted gift cards so that they could go online. And what they were doing was, say, Fortnite, for instance, they were buying things inside of Fortnite that allowed their characters to be unique or different or personalized. Yeah. And that really hit me. And I was like, everything's going to be digital. All the, 50 to 75% of the fandom is going to be digital, and we need digital products that can move, that don't just live inside a closed ecosystem, that don't just live inside a Y2K game that can be shut down at any time. If the fans are going to believe in it, they have to have long-term value, and that means they have to be on the blockchain and they have to be decentralized. So we really saw, like, we were seriously pitching in 2019. We got into the Techstars program in 2020. We did our first rollout with Coachella in 2019. And so we really did believe, but I just like anything in this world, it does sometimes shock you how quickly things pop up. I remember I started my first tech company in 2000, and that was right around the tech boom of 2000, with the .coms going crazy, and that was sort of nuts too, and that hit pretty fast and hard. So it's exciting, but I think there's a caveat there, because I think a lot of, I saw something about, X number of NFT selling, and I calculated, and the average price was something like $4,000. And I was like, that is not the average fan. That's people that are holding cryptocurrency, that have made a lot of money and are buying and trading these NFTs amongst themselves. I think our focus, the average price of our NFT is $30. We've issued over 300,000 of them. Our core mantra is to help teams and labels and athletes and artists to really connect with their fans and engage and reward and monetize them in a fair and meaningful way. Because I think that's for me is the pot of gold. If you've got 100,000 or 1 million crypto users creating a lot of this energy and hype right now, imagine when you have 2 or 3 billion fans of various sports and various teams and hobbies and comic books, and all sorts of things getting engaged in NFTs, the market is going to be just massive.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing in the news is you're seeing all of these things and the prices that are around them. And that's what's generating the headline with CryptoPunks or CryptoKitties or some of these other ones that kind of hit almost like artwork. Like they've somehow reached some place where it's become sought after art. I think what you're talking about is you're not going to buy some NFT or be given one and turn it around and sell it for $1 million the next day. Like that's not going to happen here.
Yeah, and that will happen less and less and less because there'll be less people with $1 million and there'll be more people selling things, and it'll be more and more confusing. You know, the kudos to the art world who was involved in crypto early, and they really capitalized on it. What we're seeing now is teams, like, think about the way teams and artists and any community, they're already communicating digitally with their fan base right now. Like, we did something with this comedy festival called Just for Laughs, and they had this cute little guy named Victor, and they did a bunch of on sales around Victor doing different things, and they all sold out, and they did them 3 weeks in a row, and they were like, it was incredible. And because, you know, they didn't need to go to a crypto artist and say, hey, create some value for me. They knew their fans, and they know their brand, and they were like, we know everyone loves Victor, and we're gonna do some low priced items and some medium priced items, and we're gonna get the ball rolling for our 40th anniversary Just for Laughs comedy festivals coming up in Montreal and Toronto next summer. So I think initially it was like these really high priced items with a ton of speculation. There's a lot of people involved that were in cryptocurrencies, and they're like pure speculators. Like they want to try to make money. They've invested in crypto because they believe in the decentralized nature of the world and what it could be, but also because they want to make some money. And I think now what we're seeing is, things filtering down to the, and companies like us driving the agenda. NFTs, reward your fans, surprise your fans, introduce your fans to this new digital asset, and you'll be able to engage and reward and monetize them over the next 20 years. And all the work you're doing now will pay off. We did something with a festival called Rolling Loud. Really cool, awesome festival on the West Coast, and they did free NFTs around their festival at different stages, at different times. Some of these NFTs are going to be so valuable because the festival is so popular, and we did thousands of them. But years and years from now, these are going to be like collector's items because we didn't issue that many that flooded the market, but we issued enough of them that I think people are going to be super excited.
Grant Dexter is the co-founder and the CEO of Fanaply. Thank you so much for joining us.
Real pleasure. Thanks for having me.
On the next Future Sport podcast, 2022 may be a year where broadcasts of games incorporate more and more mixed reality.
Our scouting system captures many events at the same time that a human eye cannot see. Our technology transfer more data much faster than a human scout, which then makes it possible to open up new markets for betting companies.
That's Nish Segal, Global Managing Director of OSI, a young company powering digital experiences and mixed reality in live sports. That'll do it for this episode. As always, the future is now. This is the Future Sport Podcast. I'm Bram Weinstein.